Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dreams of Tomorrow, designed by Philip Perry and published by Weird Giraffe Games. In a game of Dreams of Tomorrow, you are a dream engineer who is living in a dystopian future, and your goal is to send dreams back to our time that will inspire the people of our time now to make the changes that are needed for a better future. So essentially, you're trying to improve your present by sending dreams back to the past that will cause people's past actions to change. So the ultimate goal of the game is to catch dreams from the basically market of dreams and then weave them together in ways that score the most points. Dreams score points in two ways. They both have a point value in the top right corner, but they can also be woven together during the game. And if you weave them well, you get extra points for something called resonance. These symbols that are on the left, top, and bottom corners of each card will score you points when they're combined in a dream weave with other symbols of the same type. For example, I already have this dream with a circle in the top left and a square in the bottom left. And if I were to catch this dream and weave them together, then I would have circles and squares, which would give me some resonance. So when it comes to scoring the game, you're focused on two things: the base point value of a dream and its potential resonance with other dreams that you've already caught. To catch dreams, all you need is experience, and that's something that you're going to gain as a resource over the course of gameplay. However, to weave dreams, you're also going to need a couple of other resources, which in this game are called hope and creativity. So there are three different resources that you'll need to manage. One in order to actually catch dreams, and two others in order to actually put the dreams into your sequence. The first person to weave 5 dreams together will end the game. However, it's the person with the most points who's going to win. As with many games, you're going to have to figure out how to take the right actions to get the resources you need and do the dream catching and dream weaving that you'd like to do. However, in Dreams of Tomorrow, the most interesting aspect of the game is the way that you take actions, which is on this rondelle in the middle of the board. For each of your turns, you're going to be moving your meeple, so let's say that I'm blue, a certain number of spaces in order to take an action on the space where you land. Your base movement is up to 3, but you're also allowed to pay resources of your choice to move up to 6 spaces. So there's a pretty wide range of spaces you can move to. However, you are going to have to start paying after your base amount. Most interesting, however, is that these spaces are not static, and this is where the game gets very exciting. Depending on the actions that you take in the game, you are going to be able to occasionally rearrange the cards on the rondelle, or even flip them, which causes the actions on the top and the bottom to switch. What makes this the most fun is that as you play, you're strategically going to be manipulating the rondelle in order to benefit you and make your own moves cheaper, easier, and more efficient. However, at the same time, you might also notice what your opponent wants and play a little bit of a game of keep away or make actions more expensive for them. In addition to the basic rondelle actions such as gathering resources, catching dreams, or weaving them together, you can also activate a dream. And activating a dream means taking its special action. Each dream that you purchase from the market is going to have a special ability that allows you to gain resources, move, adjust the rondelle, or even change out a more expensive dream for a cheaper one within the dream you've been weaving. So as you play, you'll be paying attention to resonance and to point value, but you're also going to be thinking which dream actions are going to be the most useful to me strategically in this game. The other catch, of course, is that because the game ends when someone's woven 5 dreams together, you can't just sleep and keep all of your actions available to you. As you weave dreams into a sequence, the actions that get covered by other dreams become unavailable, and only exposed actions on dreams in your sequence or dreams that have not yet been woven in are usable by the player. In other words, Dreams of Tomorrow gives you a lot to think about within a very simple game structure. You'll be thinking about earning points and weaving dreams together for certain, but you're also going to have to pay attention to which actions are going to do the most for you, the most to hinder your opponents, and which are going to be the most efficient over the course of a game. As I've come to expect from Weird Giraffe Games, the publisher, Carla Kopp, has also designed some truly interesting solo bots for players to try. This one comes with 3 different levels of bot, so you can start with an easy robot player, graduate to medium, and eventually work your way up to hard. One thing that is true of Dreams of Tomorrow, as in other Weird Giraffe games, is that the AI player is so easy when it comes to upkeep. In this case, you really just do what it says on the card, and it's very streamlined. You just move the robot player according to some simple rules, and then do what it says you should for the space that it landed on. Interestingly, rather than manage a whole play area where you're catching dreams for the robot player, your goal is to score more points than the robot player takes turns in the game. So the pacing is entirely up to you in terms of deciding when the game will end, although the robot can mess with the market and remove cards from it. Your job is to be efficient and to get enough points before the robot gets to take so many turns that it runs away with the game. That's actually an adjustment to gameplay that I really like. It doesn't feel exactly like it would to play against another player, but it is a really tight, maybe even more intense version of the game because you're really having to optimize the points that you score against a pretty tight clock. So now for some final thoughts. The thing that is definitely the best aspect of gameplay in Dreams of Tomorrow is that rondel. It adds a whole level of fun and mischief to the game that I really liked and I would love to see again in more games. Most of Dreams of Tomorrow is pretty standard tableau building and set collection. There are definitely some decisions to make in terms of deciding whether to keep a dream available to you for its power or weaving it into a set and making sure that you're going to be able to score for it later in the game. I really love the ability to flip the cards, to rearrange them, to basically change the play area of the game repeatedly, either to benefit yourself or to make it a little bit harder for somebody else. That concept is really exciting, and it's the first thing I think about when I think about this game. I also really appreciate that the solo mode is well thought out. Carla Kopp is very good at making solo boss, and she never just makes one. She typically will allow you to adjust the difficulty level of your solo game, and that's something that I really appreciate. So there is easy, medium, and hard mode in Dreams of Tomorrow, and you can make your hard mode a little bit harder by adding the Nightmare expansion, which is basically a way of disrupting your gameplay even more and making it a little bit more difficult to achieve your in-game goals. That ability to adjust the difficulty level and to crank it up makes the game way more fun as a solo for me, and I really like that it allows me to play with the rondel, which I think is the best part of the game, within the solo mode, even though there's not another player there. I also have a few minor quibbles with the game. I don't particularly love the theme. I think that it's a little bit too abstract. So the idea of being in a post-apocalyptic world where we're weaving dreams to send back to our predecessors so that they do a better job, I mean, it's a cool idea, but I'm not sure that it entirely comes through within the game. As for my last point, I'm not sure it's a quibble, but it's definitely something you should know before you go into playing this game. So one thing that is generally true of Weird Draft games is that they're very relaxing. But what that means is that you don't necessarily feel very squeezed or tense during actual gameplay. You still have to manage your resources more intelligently than your opponents in order to win. So the game is still a game, it's still challenging, but you're never going to feel super squeezed for a resource or feel like there's something that you just cannot do. The game has a very loose, relaxed feel to it that you should know about. If that's something that you want, then it's perfect for you. You will really enjoy having a chill game night that's not overly bloodthirsty with your gamer friends. If, however, you want to play something that's a little bit more cutthroat, then this game may not feel that way to you, especially if you don't play it enough times to kind of get to the point where there's a little bit more strategy, because it's never going to feel like you're just starved for resources, starved for board position. So that's Dreams of Tomorrow. I think it's a good, solid game. I give it a 7 out of 10 and a Dice Tower seal of approval. Happy gaming.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.